Hello, Liliac Famous. Papa Liliac here. Once again, it seems like I have to do this kind of I don't know if I want to call it podcast or not, but it's what's on my heart, and I'm gonna say out there, and this is the best way, just to post it on Facebook. I mean on YouTube, and let you guys take in from it, and even you could leave your comments. uh, the reason I'm trying to do this vlog, and I don't want to be bringing to be a negative thing. I want it to be positive, but it's some things that I have to say what's on my chest because some people are really spreading the wrong information and spreading rumors that shouldn't be spread. So I know the truth more than anybody because I'm Papa Liliac and my kids are the band that you guys are following and loving. So with that said, what I want to say is that does Liliac want to be famous? That's the big question. That's the big question. And you'll be saying, well, of course, anybody wants to be famous. There's a difference between being successful or being famous. And when you see these people writing, well, if Liliac wants to be like famous like Miley Cyrus or Taylor Swift and this and that, they need to fire their manager, fire their dad, and get a real manager, get a real production company, sign with the record labels, get songwriters to write their songs. Well, first of all, does the band want that? Did you ever ask that questions? What does the band want? It's not what you want. You want, I get it, you're a fan. Probably you want to see Liliac to be successful. But that's a good thing, seeing them successful, meaning more bigger shows, reaching out more people. But you don't necessarily have to be famous to be on all the tabloids as Miley Cyrus is or Taylor Swift in order to be successful. You could be successful at your own terms, meaning you don't need to sell your soul to the devil to be successful. Now, famous, I don't know about that. I think, and I heard of people, they sold their soul to the devil in order to reach that big of fame. There's people that don't like, and, they like their privacy. They like their way of being. And I talked again and again, and it's weird because people even contradict me if I reply to them. And that's why it's no use to reply to anybody. It's like I'm talking to the wall. First of all, you don't know what Melody feels, my daughter, the singer. And when you say, well, when I mentioned and I was like, Melody does not want the Hollywood fame, period. And you don't know what you're talking about. And you were saying, well, she should ditch her family band and get a real band and be famous and show Miley Cyrus who can sing. And look, we love and we respect every artist out there because they're not successful or even famous for nothing, meaning they have talent. Miley Cyrus has a great voice for what she's doing. Taylor Swift has talent for what she's doing. And we respect that. And everybody should respect each other. We're all in it here to entertain people. Liliac is here to entertain like everybody else is. But Taylor Swift is at a different level of success or fame. I mean, and Miley Cyrus and Liliac, we're not even close. Liliac is still on the rise. And do you see Liliac Famous? I know some fans be like, man, Liliac should be to stadium right now. They're famous. Maybe in your eyes, it looks like Liliac is super famous. And we did meet fans when we go on tour at gas stations. They're like, oh my gosh, Liliac. And for them, or in restaurants, is like for them seeing Liliac's music and they're fascinated by the band's music, Melody's voice, Sam's guitars, Ethan's bass, and so and so. They love Liliac, and for them, Liliac probably is the most famous. It means more than Taylor Swift or Miley Cyrus. But of course, in the real world, when you look at the numbers, yes, Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift is super famous. You know what I mean? But now you wanting Liliac to be like that, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. Or it doesn't mean the band wants that. I even talked to them about record labels. Actually, today, we have a band meeting every week. And I said, Because a lot of people pin me down and, oh, Papa Liliac is just holding on to the band. He doesn't want anybody. He needs to step aside. Look, the thing is, I even told the kids, if there is a better manager than me and more connected that could help Liliac to go to the next level, but not only that, that's not it. That's, first of all, he has to be better than me at what we're doing. Second of all, if he's willing and if he's in love with the band and passionate about Liliac, of course I'll step aside and let that guy take over, because I know he's going to take Liliac where I cannot take it. But so far, I know bands that got a manager and hardly talks to the band maybe once a week and just like, blah, blah, and doesn't do absolutely anything. And he's a manager, he's connected. He's not working 24/7 for the band. And I did have a meeting with Godsmack manager, and he was responsible for Smashing Pumpkins, being their manager. And I did when I was in LA. And I asked him, I said, what? He said, look, Papa Liliac, like I really respect and appreciate what you're doing with the band. He said, signing with the label, it doesn't mean absolutely anything unless Liliac would have a hero in the label, like an A&R who signs them has to be a hero. I said, what are you talking about? What hero? We're not, what hero? And he said, let me explain, Papa Liliac, what does that mean? He said, whoever signs the band has to be a hero, meaning he has to be like you. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, look at you, man. You devote every ounce of your body to help this band be successful. You took them to all those lessons. You took them to all those rehearsals. You took them on the pier for 8 years every weekend. You could have been there with your buddies drinking and watching football or basketball, but you were there on the pier all day long, every Friday and Saturday, every Saturday and Sunday. He said, if you got a hero that will sign Liliac and will get a good deal, then yes, Liliac will be successful. But that's very rare. That's why not all the bands make it big. That's why only Taylor Swift or only such and such makes it big, because whoever made them big actually really believed in them, and they were good managers, good producers that believed in them 100%. And even if they lost money, look at Celine Dion. Celine Dion, who ended up marrying her manager, the manager sold his house. No, he took a big loan. I'm sorry, I'm going to take that back. He took a big loan from his house. His wife even ended up divorcing him because of that. Took a big loan and invested in Celine Dion hundreds of thousands of dollars because he really believed in her. And not only that, of course he was connected because he worked in the industry. He pushed her, he puts his money, he put everything he had in Celine Dion and made her who she is. You see what I'm saying? So again, I don't come from a rich family. God knows we came to America. I was 12 years old. We were on welfare, and my parents were working janitors and cleaning offices and restaurants, and I went with them. I got married young. I'm not coming from a rich family. And a lot of people are so misinformed. Of course, Liliac is big because the parents are rich. We're not rich. God knows. Honest to God. What we had was talent and work ethic. So for Liliac to be at where they are is because we worked very, 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 very hard. That's why. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't, and thank God I had the knowledge from my life experiences to learn how to record, to learn how to produce, to learn how to edit, because I was able to help the band put Enter Sandman together and videotape it and edit it. I never went to school for video editing or for video filming. I never did. But guess what? I watched other videos and I was like, man, we can't afford a production company to pay $5,000 to $10,000 to do a video. We lived, all of us, when my kids were little, we all lived in a three-bedroom apartment, 7 people. So what do? I bought a camera. And I was like, man, I'm just gonna film this way and that way. And then I remember at the beginning, I used to edit the videos. I used iMovie, and then I got to Final Cut Pro. and I just edit based on what I thought it works with the music. So that's how we did. Wild Thing was our first, it was Liliac's first rock video that started it all. And then from then on, we did Enter Sandman. They didn't go viral. I think, man, it's not working. A year after, I said, how about we do Crazy Train on the pier? Because that's where the band was performing. I was like, we'll do it on the pier. And we'll let everybody know here is Liliac. If you want to see them live, come to the pier. Because Enter Sandman did not go viral. And I thought that video should go viral. And then a month after we released Crazy Train on the Santa Monica, with the Santa Monica Pier, Stuart Copeland from BBC contacted us that he wants to put Liliac in his documentary called On Drums with Stuart Copeland. After we did that, then the world's best from CBS contacted us. They saw the Crazy Train video on the pier, and they want to have a family band on their show. They gave us, look, people say, what are you talking about? You're first family of rock. You're no first family of rock. There's the Osmonds, there's the Ozzy Osbournes, and there's this and Van Halen. I agree. But look, we signed that being on their show, it's their show. We're just paid to perform. If they came out with that name, I had no right to go and tell them, hey, why you call us the family, first family of rock? Look, we had to go along. It's their show. So they're the ones that put the name Liliac, first family of rock. What do you want us to do? Sue them or what? It's their show. We signed. It's their production. We don't even have the footages. It's their show. So now people are saying, well, if Abigail is not playing, you're not the first family of rock. Look, get a life, man. Get a life. Like I said it before, Paul is filling in for Abigail and is a phenomenal drummer. Everybody pay attention to this kid. He's a young to be prodigy. 16-year-old. His timing is I can't say perfect because nobody's perfect. It's phenomenal. And he's playing like the record. He does a drum solo that and he's fun. My kids love him. And so hopefully he's going to be drumming for Liliac as much as needed when Abigail is not playing. But with that said, fans needs to accept and trust the band for all the decisions they're making. You cannot put the band down. No Abigail, no Liliac. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You don't know the story behind the whole thing. Probably Abigail has other priorities. And, she needed time off. Leave it alone. You follow Liliac. You see what I'm saying? Look, Liliac is a family band. Van Halen is a family band. And there's only two in the band that are brothers. Look at Hellstorm. Hellstorm used to play with her brother and her dad on the bass. The father was like, probably he said, look, man, you guys are kids. You guys need a band. Your age. I'm out. What about the people say, well, you're not a family band anymore because why did you get rid of your dad? No, probably the dad just back off, was like, look, I'm out mold. I can't be there on stage. I could help you probably behind the scenes or whatever. So Hellstorm is still considered a family band because the drummer is the brother and she is the singer. So what I'm trying to say with all this video, because time is running out and I don't want to go too far. And the question is Liliac famous? Well, Liliac is successful. Independently, they got to this success. Yes, it's very hard. It's super hard. God knows how many times I'm like exhausted because I have to work around the clock to make sure the production is there, make sure the mixing, make sure the recording, the songwriting, everything. And, even the band gets exhausted because not only that we have to record this, then they have to do the promo videos, then we have to do the TikTok content reels, then we have to edit videos, then we have to get ready for tour. We have to do everything ourselves. It's very, very, very hard. But signing with the record labels, there are pros and there are cons. And that's where we put them all on the list. And according to the band, not coming from me, they were like, Dad, there's more cons than pros. So that, like Melody said today in the meeting, said that I'm happy with where we're at. I said, yeah, but fans are saying that, you guys should sound. I said, I'm sorry. I don't have to listen to the fans. First of all, we get to do the music the way we want it. We get to wear the clothing that we want. We write our own songs. Why should we sign with the record labels? The next thing, they're going to say, well, We have our songwriters that wrote songs, hit songs, Grammy Award, blah, blah, blah. Next thing, you see that they're writing your songs and your singles, and you're not writing your songs anymore. Liliac doesn't want to do that. And people might say, yeah, but, well, you don't have hits. And first of all, hits, it's a big, big question. What makes a song a hit? I know bands that have hit songs. We have hit songs. But a record label spends so much money for that hit songs to get on the radio. I remember when I was working with this producer in LA and he was working with Pussycat Dolls. That was the pop stuff. He told me it costs $250,000 to keep a song 6 months in rotation on all the radio, FM radio stations. That's $250,000. Who do you, when record labels put $250,000 to promote a single or an album, who do you think, what pocket do you think that's coming out of? The band's money. So when the band's getting more famous, has to pay back everything. It's a loan that the record label is giving you. And you know, this was crazy because somebody contradicted his dad, Papa Liliac. You know, I get it, you're saying Melody doesn't want to have anything to do with Hollywood fame and stuff like that. But what about if she gets offered $1 million deal, $1 million contract? Then what is she going to do? Don't you think she's going to want that? That's the thing. If the record label says, hey, Melody, Liliac, here's $1 million, is your money. Because you're just a great band. We love you. You deserve it. Yes, okay, thank you very much. See you later. No, when you hear $1 million deal, contract, meaning you get $1 million loan that you have to pay back. And their interest is not like the Bank of America's interest. What is 7%, 8%? No. They put an interest. It's like those mobs from New York. If you don't pay them back, they're going to come and break your knees. That's their interest. That's why bands are crying. I've been with the label for 5 years and we didn't make any money because all the money making, they're saying, well, you got to pay your expenses. Goes back to the label. They said, we made $0. Chevelle talked about it and wrote it in the newspaper. 30 Seconds to Mars documentary. Look it up on Netflix. He said, after 5 years with the label, 3 albums, we're in debt over $1.5 million. That doesn't make any sense. And we toured the world in stadiums and arenas. You see what I'm saying? It's a loan. It's a loan. Are you willing to go through all that and get all that famous and not make any money just to be a big name? Or are you willing to have a life, have a successful, you're making money what you're doing, make your own music, and reach as many fans as you can on your own? That's the big question. What do you think Liliac should do? Should they sign with a record label, sell their soul, or should they stay independent? Rock on and rock hard.